These are the things that get straight fold on a wave fold curtain.
How do we get straight folds on a wave fold curtain? Okay, so we're talking about the drapability of a fabric on a wave fold curtain. The wave fold curtain is meant to have a very minimal and simplistic look. It's meant to have simple straight lines going from floor to ceiling because it draws the eye higher and makes your room look taller. It's like that old saying, wear vertical lines if you want it to look taller. Now when you go online, you see photos of these beautiful wave fold curtains with the straight lines that go from top to bottom. Everyone wants that look. Now whether we can achieve that look depends on the fabric. The rule of thumb is the softer the fabric, the more curves you'll get, and the stiffer the fabric, the more it flares out. It's like a dress. A column dress is a very slim-fitting, straight-cut dress. It uses soft material so it falls straight. Well, the same goes with wave fold curtains. The softer the fabric, the more curves it'll have, and the straighter it'll fall. A ball gown, on the other hand, flares out. It has to have volume, and that was the look of it. So a ball gown is actually the same style as pinch pleat and pencil pleat back in the day. You actually needed the fabric to be stiffer, so it flared out and dragged on the floor and looked like it had volume. We used to sew 3 layers together so the curtain looked like it had volume. It was so thick it was like a blanket. So there was the face fabric, the bump, and the lining. I have heard people say putting extra fullness on a wave fold curtain will make it fall straight. I don't know where that came from because fullness has nothing to do with how a wave fold drapes. Now I want to make this very clear. If you want more fullness for any reason other than wanting straight folds on a wave fold, by all means go for it. Everyone has their own look that they want to achieve, and the extra fullness is available specifically for that. But if someone told you you need the 120% or the 140% fullness because that's the only way you can achieve the straight fold look, they're talking rubbish. These people don't realize that wave fold is a completely different style of curtain. Oh, and by the way, when you're using 120% fullness, you're not actually getting 20% more fabric from standard. Okay, so here's how to actually get straight folds out of a wave fold curtain. First of all is the fabric. We've already talked about the softer the fabric, the more curves you'll get. Now secondly, what you decide for the bottom hem will also affect how the fabric flares out. Most shears comes with a weighted bottom hem these days. While the weighted hem gives the curtain a smoother and cleaner look, the weighted hem is always going to be stiffer than the fabric itself. The alternative is to have a folded hem. So we'll cut off the line of weights and fold the bottom. Now there's nothing to push out the curtain. Now the downside of the folded bottom hem is because now the fabric is folded back up. When the fabric is curved, the fabric will buckle. So you don't have that smooth curved finish on the bottom anymore. So there's no perfect solution. We either have a smooth finish on the bottom with a weighted hem, or we have straighter folds on the bottom with a buckle hem. Now third is training the fabric. Most fitters don't train the fabric after installation. And that's understandable because it takes a lot of time. Now some fitters will offer fabric training at an extra cost and some build it into their price. But realistically, it's much cheaper if you just do it yourself. Now what do I mean by fabric training? We fold the fabric, organize the folds from top to bottom, making sure they line up. Usually new fabrics from the mill are coated with a thin layer of wax. This wax will soften over time as we use or wash the curtains. But if we can't wait, we can use steam to speed this process up and set the curtain into shape. The longer you leave it tied up, the temperature and moisture change in your house will naturally help your curtain settle into shape as well. Fourth is by pre-folding the fabric like how it's going to sit on the track and pack it like that. The wave fold is meant to have smooth curves. The zigzag way can work, but I don't think it looks good that way. So to get straight folds on a wave fold, we need soft fabrics, a weighted or a folded bottom hem, whichever style you prefer, and we need to train the fabric into shape. Alright guys, leave your questions in the comments. If a question is asked heaps of times, I'll make a separate video about it. See ya, bye.